What if I told you there's actually a way to make more money in trading while doing less? Sounds crazy, right? But there's actually one simple concept that most traders overlook. And this exact reason is how I was able to make $18,000 in one trade across my 20 Apex funded account. The best part, you don't need to be in the chart all day, you don't need a complicated strategy, and you definitely do not need luck. It is so simple that once you understand it, your whole trading perspective will change. So if you want to learn this strategy, make sure that you stay until the end of the video where I will break it down to you step by step. The strategy that I'm going to talk about today is called daily expansion candle. You only simply need this one daily candle in order to make money in trading. Ang daily expansion candle, ang itsura niya is ganito. It has a wick here. We all know the open on the green candle is here. So it wick here, then expand higher, and then nagkaroon siya ng wick above and then close right here. The same goes if the market is bearish. We open here, we trade above, and then we expand lower, and then wick will be created later in the day and close in here. A lot of the times, ito daily expansion candle nito will consist a move more than 1%. 1% move on Nasdaq, ES, or YM. Nakadepende rin to sa volatility and the environment during that time. But ideally, the average range ng market na yon is hindi pa siya na-cap. So let's say, for example, ang average range na na-observe mo on a given day is 300 points on a Nasdaq, and then mag-chop na yung market. Then it probably mean na yung daily expansion has already ended. This daily expansion candle also usually happen when there's a high impact news in the market such as NFP, CPI, FOMC, or any red folder news in the market. So mas maganda kung merong red folder news on that day because usually on those days nagkakaroon ng magandang expansion sa market. And what do you guys need to know and what makes this strategy great? Ang kailangan mong malaman is actually a daily bias. So since we're looking for a daily expansion candle, you wanted to have a bias na gusto mong makita lang yung market na mag-trade siya in this direction and not the other way around. It means if you are bullish, you don't think about shorting the market. Hindi mo nakikita or hindi mo napipicture na magpupush yung market lower when you are bullish. And you need to have a target because if you are trying to trade the daily bias without a target, it means you're trying to go with the flow without having anything in mind. You need a target for this to work because you need to be reaching for something. It could be inefficiency, it could be a swing high, swing low, equal high, or liquidity point na a-attack ng market because market loves to attack liquidity. Meaning, when I say liquidity, I just simply mean stop loss. These are area na merong stop loss ang mga retail trader, and I call this liquidity because they will exit their position once you hit those level. When I say liquidity, just think about it as a stop loss. And then you need to have a clear invalidation and why the market shouldn't trade that level. So basically is if you're long, you don't want to see the market go in a certain level, otherwise that bullish bias is no longer valid. Therefore, you shouldn't be looking for long or expecting your target. Let's say your target is here, you have a stop here, or you have a clear invalidation here. If market trades to this invalidation, you don't want to be buying immediately and targeting this high, right? And maybe it's time for you to cut that losses and maybe think about it. What could be the possible next move? Maybe this target is still valid, but it might not happen today. So you need to have a clear invalidation why the market shouldn't trade that level. What makes this strategy great is the fact that you can pyramid into this position. So let's say, for example, the market is trading higher, right? You were able to enter at a pullback initially. Let's say yung market nag-trade siya like this. This is your entry. And then when the market makes another leg higher, you can add in here and then move the initial stop of this initial position into maybe here, the entry level, and then this level na second entry mo, the stop loss will be here as well. One of the things that is beautiful about this, since mag-expand yung market higher, and if you were able to join inside the wick, let's say, di ba, ang bullish market has a wick, a body, and then a wick. So if you were good enough to be able to join in this wick, you can still add in here, and then exit your position close. Hopefully, close to here. You're adding your position while it's going in your favor. Tapos yung initial position mo, yung stop loss niya, ina-adjust mo na siya to break even or reducing the risk of the initial position into half. And the great thing about this as well is your stop loss is usually larger, it is framed on a higher time frame as well. It means it has less noise. Mas konti yung noise compared to 1 minute, 5 minutes, and maybe even 15 minutes. So that is the good thing about this. You don't need to be emotional while trading because hindi naman mabilis yung movement ng market and it's less noise compared sa lower time frame. You definitely do not need a lot of time when trading the daily bias because you're looking for specific signature. Hindi mo kailangan mag-overthink, uy, meron tong bearish FVG, meron tong ganito, meron tong endog, endwall. You don't need a lot. It's so simple. You're just predicting or anticipating what is the next candle sa daily time frame. And a lot of the time, when you are in a drawdown, all the previous drawdown you have will likely be covered by this one single win. It means you don't need a high win rate to be profitable using this simple daily expansion candle. Okay? There are multiple ways to catch a expanding daily candle. One or the most common one is internal to external. So for instance, you have a fair value gap here. The market is trading higher. Kapag nag-retrace siya dito sa fair value gap, this inefficiency will be filled and then ito target niya yung next external liquidity. And then we have another FVG here. From, let's say, if you are bearish from this level, you can target this internal liquidity. So that's one way to trade the daily bias. Hindi lang to sa daily, it can also be in a lower time frame. I'm not sure if I have discussed this yet. If not, I'll make a future video regarding this, so make sure you follow me for more. And the one thing that I like is a double liquidity sweep in a consolidation. You know when the market just printing small candles, diba? Ang daming time na ganito yung market. It is very deceiving. You don't know where the market is likely to go. And we all know that a consolidation will eventually give you expansion someday, or it is bound to expand. Nangyayari to, kunyari, may consolidation sa market sa daily time frame. Usually nangyayari to when we are anticipating a event such as CPI, FOMC, NFP. Days before the day of red folder news, a lot of the time the market will just chop. It will chop the people that are impatient because they want to keep trading daily. Oh, trade here, trade there. But the market makers or mga tao na malaki yung pera, they are basically waiting for news event to be released so they can make an informed decision with the larger money based on the fundamentals. So a lot of the time, those expansion candles, those big candles will happen on a red folder event. So when you see the market consolidating like this, it is somehow bound to expand. And it is your job to look for this one simple daily expansion that is likely gonna be happening on a red folder news. You basically need a swift of liquidity in a daily time frame or in that consolidation before the next move. Kasi kapag nag-consolidate ang market, let's say these are daily candles. Let's say nag-consolidate to, right? When it push, a lot of people will immediately try to buy this breakout. Even though wala pang news na nagbigay in order for this to push higher. But they end up getting stopped out. Let's say they bought here. Yung stop nila is likely below this candle, below this consolidation. They get stopped in here, then the market trades back in here. When you see market trades back in here, inside this consolidation, this is the best time to look for the long. And you can find a clear invalidation inside this. Inside this consolidation, you want to see another consolidation to happen, then break a bit, and then this is the part that you can long or you can wait for it to trade back up inside this consolidation and then use this as your stop. It depends on how you like to be able to join. But let's say you bought here, you have a stop here. When the market trades back up again, then you can start to look for another position. Then the initial stop loss, pwede mo siyang i-adjust dito. Tapos yung second entry mo, you can put the stop loss in here. So if matalo ka, you're just losing 1 R, not 2 R. And since you're pyramiding the position, you're not making twice dahil dalawa na yung position mo. Ideally, when the market goes back in here, inside this consolidation, merong red folder news on this time. And you basically need to wait for time of day. And you need to look for certain signature inside this level, such as bullish, engulfing bar, yeah, anything that is signature that gives you indication na bullish na yung market. Ideally, it's on a higher time frame, like 1 hour or 15 minutes. Now let's go to the chart and tell you guys exactly what trades I took in order for me to make $18,000 in one trade. So guys, we are in this YM, and as you can see, the market keeps creating highs, low, and basically just trending higher overall. So this is the market that I did trade and caught a daily expansion, which is this candle. So how was I able to do that? Essentially, I have a bullish bias, and the reason why I have a bullish bias is one of the things that I told you, from internal to external liquidity, right? What is a liquidity? It's basically stop loss where traders like to put their stop. So to me, this is an equal high, right? Ito equal high to. And when the market drops down in here but never close below this, to me, this is indicating that this market is still bullish. And overall, indices, ES and NQ are still trading higher at all-time high. Nangyari dito is, after we feel this inefficiency, nag-consolidate yung market. Now, to me, why is this consolidating? To me, it's just generating more liquidity, thinking that traders think this is gonna be the top. Because retail traders love to see those patterns sa level ng premium ng mga equal highs like double top or triple bottom, right? But how will I know na eto na ba talaga yung expansion? Kasi yun yung mahirap eh. Nagtitrade yung market consolidation and you are always anticipating a expansion higher and then getting stop out in the process. Isa sa mga concept na gusto kong makita is I want to see ma-damage muna yung mga ibang trader. What do I mean by this? You'll notice in here, meron tayong double top, right? If you notice here, Monday we opened this candle, right? This is the candle. We basically traded higher. This is the low, traded higher. Then another low, traded higher. We did not take this high. Then what happened here is we open up here, we took out the high, and the market drops. Where? Liquidity from previous day low. So if we look at the 1 hour, this is what it looks like. This is the Monday, right? Nag-trade tayo higher, close here. We traded higher again, right? We just manipulated to the downside, traded higher. And at this point, we have this liquidity above, right? Meron tayong high here, we have a high here. So we have a resting liquidity pools above this level. What we can see on Wednesday, this is actually one of those days na nag-attempt ako to take a long and I got stopped out. And you can see this level. Na-sweep itong high, but ilang take lang to. This is not yet a final sweep. So maybe this is a sweep for you and then you trade the downside to target this low. The thing is, ayoko mag-short when I think the market is still gonna go higher. And we took this high, diba? Na-take out tong liquidity na to. My issue if I'm going to short here, anong tatargetin ko? Yeah, in hindsight, this is a good target. This is the Tuesday low. But if nag-trade tayo from an external, I wanted to see an internal to be filled. So in this level, after ma-sweep nito, wala akong makitang inefficiency in the market na pwedeng maging draw on liquidity, right? Because if we trade external, we want to see inefficiency to the trend. So dito walang fair value gap on the left. So what the market did is just drop down. To me, this move does not make any sense. It made sense the following day. What we did was take out this high, previous day high, na-stop out yung mga trader and they think this is gonna dump. And then maybe if they were able to call this stop, then they could have been profit in here. But where would you put your stop? That's another issue. Kung mag-short ka, saan yung invalidation to the short side? There's nothing because the market is trending higher. Okay? So, ang nangyari is, we took this sell, nag-take out ng buy stop, nag-take out ng sell stop. This is a double sweep of liquidity. And then, the low resistance liquidity, after ma-hurt ng both side, that is the real move going to be happening. So, on this specific day, this per value gap, I'm not looking at this as bearish to go short. Why? Because I'm bullish. Gusto kong makita to na mag-close above. And on this candle, you can see this is a simple price action. Bullish engulfing bar. So this bullish engulfing bar, nangyari to during a news event. Remember what I told you? Mag-expand ang market outside of consolidation. Usually, when there is a high impact news. And on this specific day, meron tayong CPI. Thursday. Basically, I did was, when I see this 1 hour candle close like this, this is a simple price action, right? I put a long in here and put my stop in here. My initial risk was just $180, right? $180 lang. You can watch my live stream, guys, when I took this. And I put this level right here, OB. Simple. I'm bullish. We took out the buy stop. We took out the sell stop. Now, the people are both trapped and now afraid to join in. So, naglong ako on this OB. My stop is this low. Basically, the CPI low. Okay? naglong ako dito and I'm just waiting for the right moment to open. So, if you're wondering saan yung target ko dito, my target is actually at the all-time high because yung EYM, ito na lang yung market na hindi pa nag-trade sa all-time high. As you can see to the left, we have this high here. Nung na-take out itong level na to, we still have this liquidity. That is why hindi ko pinagkakatiwalaan itong dump na to. Hindi ko pinagkatiwalaan itong dump na to, but I treated it as double purge of liquidity sweep. So we still have this high. And the YM, ito talaga yung all-time high. Nasa ano kasi ako, nasa YMU contract kaya hindi ko nakikita. But these are daily candlestick high. Yan, kung titignan mo yung YM continuous contract, this is the all-time high. My target is actually in this level. Ito yung ina-expect ko from this day. And during that initial entry, nagkaroon pa ng konting chop ang market. But if we look at the 5 minutes, if you want to be precise, you can enter into this level, which is a BPR, right? Nag-top yung market into this BPR. Okay, and right here. Nag-top siya dito and the market never retraced and expanded higher. Kasi nga, bullish expansion candle yung profile on this day. And basically, I did not want to miss the move. Nagkaroon lang ako ng larger stop. But if you want to be precise, you can do this. It will give you a better risk to reward. But to me, I'd rather miss that extra 2R in order for me to join this. Kasi sa 1 hour meron nga siyang OB. And how did I pyramid in this position? So that is when the time of day. So nung nakita ko tong nag-open, this is the exact open of this market, right? Ito yung exact open ng market. Nag-drop tayo lower. This is my initial position, which is actually in here. Ito yung initial position ko. And when I see the market drop, hindi ako nag-add immediately here. I don't want to add when I'm in a losing. So nag-add ako when the market is going in my favor. I don't like to typically DCA. So I said in the chat, on the live stream, if we break this high, I'm gonna add in the position as long as mag-close tayo above. And that's what exactly I did. At the market open, nung nag-trade yung market back after we took out this or finil natin tong 5-minute FVG, I simply added here. So, yung initial position ko was in here, right? Then my stop loss was in here. So, ang ginawa ko, nung nag-add ako on this level, I adjusted my stop in here. Maybe 0.5. And then ito, nung nag-entry ako dito, in-adjust ko yung stop ko in here. So, I'm losing maybe 1.5R, but I'm winning so much. If I'm targeting this high, right? I'm targeting this high. This is 1:7 and this is now 1:13. Literally, I'm risking 1.5R to make potentially 20R. Honestly, when this market traded above, I immediately put my stop into average position. So, when you average this entry, di ba? Nag-entry ako dito, my average was in here, right? This is my average entry. So, ang ginawa ko was, I placed my initial stop. Nung nakita ko siya nag-expand higher right here, nag-aggressive ako break even in here on this position. Basically, after that, it was about managing the trade. Sa totoo lang, I would hold this trade until the all-time high. But the only thing that prevented me in holding this trade is trailing yung drawdown ng mga account ko. And at that time, my PNL is fluctuating to 400 to 500. Usually, you know, ayoko tinitrade yung PNL ko. I wanted to trade what is happening sa price action. But the thing is, the trailing drawdown mechanics, if I'm wrong and bigla itong mag-retrace, let's say 500 na yung unrealized profit ko, mag-retrace siya sa break-even, I would lose $500 worth of drawdown. So what I did instead was basically partial along the way and trail my stop to the low. Ang isa kong position was actually, I think the final position was exited in here. So just based on the time of day. Honestly, this didn't took a while, like maybe 30 to 45 minutes where I'm out for the full position. And yeah, basically, I don't need to be right and not take out na yung mga liquidity pool na importante, which is this high. I take a partial here, which is 3 contracts, and then I partial along the way. And if you want to see that exact trade na tinake ko, you can actually watch my previous live stream. I think it was last week of Thursday, and that is probably second week of September if you're just watching this now. So second week of September ng Thursday nung merong CPI event. And basically, I made $17,000 across 20 account, and then I made $1,200 on my personal account. So yeah guys, I hope you love this type of content, and I hope you learned something from this. And essentially, this was a banger trade, like very, very good trade. All the criteria was there, kaya hindi ako nag-hesitate to add into the winning of this position. So yeah, I know I would have made much more only if hindi trailing drawdown yung account ko. And on my personal account, sa totoo lang, di ako nakapag-pyramid. But yeah, it was a great trade. And yeah, I hope you learned something from this. And if you want to have more videos like this, make sure you follow, you subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Be safe.